reading of the Act of Independence of Haiti by Lespinasse Leveillé, Freedom or Death, Indigenous Army. Today, January 1st, 1804, the general in charge of the Indigenous Army, accompanied by the chief generals of the army, called for measures to be taken that tend to the country's well-being. After having made known to the assembled generals his true intentions of securing forever a stable government to the natives of Haiti, the object of his greatest request, which he did with a speech that tends to make known to foreign powers the resolution to make the country independent and to enjoy a freedom consecrated by the blood of the people of this island. And after collecting the opinions, he requested that each of the assembled generals take an oath to renounce France forever, to die rather than live under his rule, and to fight to the last breath for independence. The generals, imbued with these sacred principles, after having unanimously supported the clearly expressed project of independence, all swore by their posterity, by the entire universe, to renounce France forever and die rather than live under its rule. Done in Gonaïves on January 1, 1804, the first day of Haiti's independence, signed by Dessalines, General-in-Chief, Christophe Pétion, Clairvaux, Geffrard, Vernet, Gabard, Major Generals, P. Romain, E. Gérin, F. Caproy, Do, Jean-Louis François, Ferrou, Cangé, L. Bazelet, Magloire Ambroise, Jean-Jacques Herne, Toussaint Brave, Yahoo, Brigadier Generals, Bonnet, F. Papalier, Morelli, Chevalier, Marion, General Assistants, Mani, Roux, Brigade Leaders, Charoron, Belloret, Quenet, Macajou, Dupuis, Carbone, D. L. de Diacroix, Raphaël, Mallet, de Renoncourt, Army Officers, and Boiron-Tonnerre, Secretary. Proclamation. The General-in-Chief to the people of Haiti. Citizens, it is not enough to have expelled from your country the barbarians who have blooded it for 2 centuries. It is not enough to have put a stop to the ever-resurgent factions that took turns playing with the ghost of freedom that France exposed before your eyes. We must, through a final act of national authority, ensure forever the rule of freedom in the country where we were born. We must strip from the inhumane government, which has long kept our minds in this most humiliating lethargy, of all hope of enslaving us again. Ultimately, we must live free or die. Independence or death. May these sacred words bring us together and be the sign of our battles and of our reconciliation. Citizens, my compatriots, I have gathered on this solemn day these brave soldiers who, on the eve of receiving the last breath of freedom, lavished their blood to save it. These generals who guided your efforts against tyranny have not yet done enough for your well-being. The gloomy French name pervades our regions. Everything there evokes the memory of the cruelties of these barbaric people. Our laws, our morals, our cities, everything still bears a French imprint. What am I saying? There are French people on our island. And you believe you're free and independent of this republic that has fought against all nations? It is true, but that has never defeated those who want it to be free. And then what? Victims for 14 years of our credulity and our indulgence, defeated not by the French armies, but by the lamentable eloquence of the proclamations of their agents. When will we get tired of breathing the same air as them? What do we have in common with these executioner people? Their cruelty compared to our patient moderation? Their color compared to ours? The immensity of the oceans that separate us, our vengeful climate, tell us loud enough that they are not our brothers, that they will never be our brothers, and that if they find refuge among us, they will continue to be the conspirators of our problems and our divisions. Indigenous citizens, men, women, girls and boys, Look to all parts of this island. Look for yourselves, your wives, your husbands, your brothers, your sisters. Look for your children, your babies at your breasts. What has become of them? I shudder when I say it. The prey of these vultures. Instead of these interesting victims, your dismayed eyes only see their murderers, the tigers that still drip their blood, and whose terrible presence reproaches you for your insensitivity and your slowness to revenge them. What are you waiting for to appease their souls? Remember that you wanted your remains to rest with those of your parents when you drove away tyranny. Will you go down to their graves without having avenged them? No, their bones would have rejected yours. And you, precious men, intrepid generals, who, insensitive to your own misfortunes, resurrected freedom by giving it all your blood, know that you have done nothing if you do not give the nations a terrible but just example of the revenge that must be exercised by a people proud of having recovered their freedom and jealous of maintaining it. Let us scare all those who would dare try to take it from us again. Let us start with the French. Let them shudder as they approach our shores, if not for the memory of the cruelties they exercise, at least for the terrible resolution that we are going to take to condemn to death anyone, French by birth, who soils the territory of freedom with his sacrilegious foot. We dared to be free. Let us be free by ourselves and for ourselves. Let us imitate the growing child. His own weight breaks the edge that becomes useless to him and hinders his progress. What people have fought for us, what people would like to reap the fruits of our labors, and what a dishonorable absurdity it is to conquer in order to be slaves. Slaves? Let us leave this qualifying epithet to the French. They conquered to stop being free. Let's walk through other footprints. Let us imitate these peoples who, carrying their concern even for the future and fearing to leave the example of cowardice to posterity, preferred to be exterminated rather than excluded from the number of free people. But let us be careful that the spirit of proselytism does not destroy our work. Let our neighbors breathe in peace. Let them live in peace under the laws that they have made for themselves. And let us, revolutionary agitators, setting ourselves up as legislators of the entailers, not make our glory consist of disturbing the islands that surround us. Like those where we lived, they have not been watered with the innocent blood of its inhabitants. They have no revenge to exert against the authority that protects them. Happy to have never experienced the scourges that destroyed us, they can only wish for our prosperity. Peace to our neighbors, but anathema to the French name, eternal hatred of France. This is our cry, natives of Haiti. My happy destiny reserved for me to one day be the sentinel who had to watch over the guard of the idol to which you've sacrificed. I watched, I fought, sometimes alone. And if I had the good fortune to place in your hands a sacred deposit that you entrusted to me, remember that now it is your responsibility to preserve it. By fighting for your freedom, I work for my own happiness before consolidating it with laws that ensure your individual freedom. To your leaders that I gather here and to myself, we owe you the last proof of our devotion. Generals and you leaders gathered here near me for the well-being of our country, the day has arrived, this day that must eternalize our glory, our independence. If there could be a slightly indifferent heart among you, let it turn away and tremble to pronounce the oath that should unite us. Let us swear by the entire universe, by our posterity, by ourselves, to renounce France forever and die rather than live under her dominion. Fight until the last breath for the independence of our country. And you, unfortunate for too long, witnesses of the oath we take, remember that it is with your perseverance and your courage that I counted when I launched myself into the race for freedom to combat despotism and tyranny against which you fought. 14 years. Remember that I sacrificed everything for your defense. Parents, children, fortune. And that now I am only rich in your freedom. That my name has become a horror for all peoples who want slavery. And that despots and tyrants only pronounce it cursing the day that saw me born. And if you ever refuse or accept with a murmur the Lord, that for your happiness the genius who watches over your destiny will dictate to me, you should deserve the fate of ungrateful peoples. But far from me this horrible idea. You will be the support of the freedom that you value, the support of the leader who commands you. Therefore, take in his hands the oath to live free and independent, and to prefer death to everything that tends to put you back under the yoke. Finally, swear to pursue forever the traitors and enemies of your independence. Done at the headquarters of Go Naive on the first day of January 1804, the first year of independence. Signed by Jean-Jacques Dessalines. We, the generals and chiefs of the armies of the island of Haiti, are deeply grateful for the benefits we've received from the General-in-Chief Jean-Jacques Dessalines, the protector of the freedom enjoyed by the people. In the name of freedom, in the name of independence, in the name of the people he has made happy, we proclaim him Governor General for life of Haiti. We swear blind obedience to the laws emanated from his authority, the only one we will recognize. We give him the right to make peace, war, and appoint his successor. Done at headquarters in Go Naive, the first day of January 1804, and the first day of independence. Signed, Gabard, P. Romain, G. Erne, Caproy, Christophe, Geffrard, E. Gérin, Vernet, Pétion, Clairvaux, Jean-Louis, François, Congé, Ferrou, Yahu, Toussaint Brave, Magloire Amboise, Louis Bazelet, at Port-au-Prince from the government printing office. Thank you.